Winston from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, hit me up and said, if the SEC misses out on the national title game again, how much longer are we going to label them a Power 2 conference? Winston, it is a Power 2 world for the foreseeable future, and I don't care if the SEC doesn't even make the Final Four this year. That's kind of the way it is. Now, you don't have to like it. By the sounds of it, Winston, I would guess you don't like it. And newsflash, I don't particularly love it either. But that is the way it is. And it's for a million different reasons. Most notably, the entire concept of haves and have-nots. They are the haves. Even if they don't have a spot in the national title game any given year or any several group of years, they are still one of the two major haves in this sport. Now, why are we really asking this? We're probably asking this because we don't like the SEC, Winston. That would be my guess, which is totally fine. A lot of folks don't. But what are we really asking? Bradley, do me a favor, put the question up again. Just notice the wording here that Winston from Oklahoma City provided us. If they don't make, so if the SEC misses out on the national title game again, how much longer are we going to label them a Power 2 conference? Well, are we asking to bump the SEC down and bump someone else ahead of them as one of the Power 2? Because certainly the ACC and the Big 12 aren't prepared to assume that mantle. Or, Winston, are you asking for us to remove the SEC from that descriptor, and basically it's just the Big 10, then gap, then SEC, then maybe a gap, and then everyone else? So basically the Big 10 is just Power 1? Is that what we're asking? The entire thinking, I think, is kind of lazy. Winston, you are not lazy. You are hardworking people, sometimes say lazy things and do lazy things. Lazy people rarely do hardworking things. Mimo always used to say that. So there is a difference there. I think the mentality is lazy. And I stand by that. I stand by that no matter what the circumstances of this particular year are. If you were watching last year, I think it was the morning after the Fiesta Bowl. Yeah, because this is when I told Compton and Will I had to, or Compton and Will are the same person. I told them I had to get to Atlanta for a Sports Center hit the next morning and a Get Up hit the next morning, and I just did it from my hotel room. Production lines got crossed. Anyway, it was the morning after Ole Miss got eliminated by Miami, and it became clear for the third straight year the SEC wasn't going to have a team in the national title game. And I was doing Get Up, and Greeny asked me, all right, now that Ole Miss is out, it's guaranteed that the SEC is not going to be in the national title game. Does that mean the conference has, I can't remember what the rest of the question is, but I remember saying, I wouldn't feel any different about the SEC if Ole Miss had won last night. So it's a one-possession game. It's a close game. You're telling me like a couple of bounces of ball in one football game with one team from your conference participating, that's a reflection of your entire league? Of course it's not. But if you want to play that game, Winston, let's walk it through to its illogical conclusion. Let me paint you a scenario. All right, follow along here. You don't have to close your eyes. We already did that earlier, but just follow along here, Winston. Since making the national title game or winning a national title is the end-all be-all indicator of the strength of a conference, let's take Texas, but you could take any team. Hey, quick time out here. Are you subscribed to the channel? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please do it. It helps us maintain the show at this level. That's it. That's all I got. Back to the clip. Let's say Steve Sarkisian and Texas go undefeated this year. Just scorched earth, wire to wire, 12-0 regular season. They win the conference. They got a first-round bye. They go boom, 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 and they win the national championship. What does that mean about the SEC? Now, hold on, because I haven't finished the scenario. But so far, based on that logic, what does that say about the SEC? Hey, they won a national championship, right? Not only did they make the title game, they won it. That means they're back, right? That means Power 2 conference, right? All right, so the reason I say I'm not done is because here's the rest of the scenario. Texas goes undefeated. They win the national title. No other team in the league is better than 8-4. Did the SEC have a good year or a bad year? Because I'd say the SEC had a historically terrible year under that scenario. But according to your logic, it's a phenomenal year because one of their member institutions won the national title, right? So what else matters? Now, this understandably all comes down to personal preference, or it comes down to the college football prism you choose to view this world through. Some of you look around and you say, I judge a conference by the top of the conference. And then others of you say, no, I judge a conference by the overall collective depth of the conference. Frankly, I don't really care either way. I tend maybe to lean a little more towards the latter than the former. Like, I've got no problem saying, I think the Big Ten's better at the top than the SEC right now. I think if you go 5 through 10, the SEC is probably better in terms of quality in that grouping. So depth-wise, edge SEC, overall, top of the mountain, edge Big Ten. It's kind of the way I see the sport right now. It's all fluid. But here's what I don't have room for. What I don't have room for, Winston, and I appreciate you hitting us up, but what I don't have room for is the third rail there, which is I'm going to judge a conference by unevenly applied criteria. Because that's really what we're doing there. That's really what we're doing. Because applied to any other conference outside of the Big Ten currently, applied to any other conference, like, okay, the SEC is missing out on a 4th straight national championship game. Well, who else is filling the bucket? Now, the ACC recently just had Miami go, but before that, what were we talking about? And for that matter, prior to Miami last year, you take Clemson away from the ACC throughout the entirety of the 20 teens, and what did we have? So I look at it, like I just said, as figure out what you value. But I'm telling you right now, there's a world where the SEC has a team win the national title this year and the league regresses. That could very well happen. So I choose to look at top to bottom. Well, probably not the bottom, but I look at the top and the middle. And I'd say the SEC is a really strong conference right now, while you also grant that at the top, they're getting worked by Ohio State or Oregon or Indiana, for that matter. No problem admitting all that. I don't know why anyone would have a problem with that, because it's kind of super obvious right now. You know what would make you feel good? A t-shirt from PateStateMaterial.com. I guarantee you it would. Someone this morning showed us their little freight, which is Pate State nomenclature for their child, wearing some gear from the Pate State store. Like, I know when we show the monitor here, it's just stuff that full-grown normal adults would wear. Man, the little freights collection, we moved some of those shirts. I wish we actually made them in adult sizes, because if you don't think I'd wear one of those little freight shirts, you don't know me well enough. But yeah, we got something over there for everyone. PateStateMaterial.com.